What does it mean to be a man? Does a man mean to provide for a family? Does a man mean to stay in his room all day playing video games? Or does a man mean to be a misogynistic piece of shit to everyone on the internet? I don't know. It's kind of hard to decipher which one actually is a real man. You already know his name. You already know who the fuck he is. And compared to me, who is an absolute nobody compared to this guy, talking about someone who everyone knows about, it kind of seems a little, I can't really say, kind of ironic in a way, that someone that no one knows about is going to talk about someone that everyone knows about, calling him out on his dumb shit. But that's what I'm going to do. Call him out on his dumb fucking shit that he does. Andrew Tate. Everyone knows him. The misogynistic piece of shit, actually sexist guy who has radical views. I've tried listening to so many clips of him. It's like 10% of what he says I'll agree with, but the rest is just radical. Like, oh, a fucking woman has to do this. Stay home, smile when I come. I literally heard one time, he was just like, you know, when I'm coming back from my business, I want my woman to smile and do nothing but be pleasant. And do this and do that for me. And do things for me. And I'm like, dude, you're actually a degenerate piece of shit. Like, you just think women are weaker than men. This isn't men's rights anymore. There's a difference between fighting for women's and men's rights. They're kind of far apart, not really in the middle. But if you're going, he's on way men's rights. He believes that men actually go worse in life than women, which is actually statistically just untrue. Yes, more men commit suicide. Yes, more men get judged in the criminal system, you know, for getting judged and shit. Yes, men go through a lot of shit. I agree. There's actually sometimes I still think, are women really that far off from men? Men do have a lot of problems. I'm going to agree on some of the points he makes of that. And men do go through on a lot of problems. But the thing is that a lot of things that he says, he acts like men are the fucking victims and the world is just out to go get men. For some things, yeah, but mostly no. You know, women statistically still, you know, aren't equal to men. I love when people like him make the statement of, oh, well, who built the railroad system? Who built this? Who built all the buildings? Men. Yeah, you're right. It was men. Good job. You know why? Because women had to be kept in their fucking houses for thousands of years. Like, women weren't allowed to go out the house without their man's permission for the fucking longest time. And now women are. And now you see them actually succeeding. If you look up, last I checked, I could be wrong, but at least last I checked, the most educated people are black women. Yeah, I guess you don't like that, dude. Like, I get, if you tell Andrew Tate that, he'd be like, oh no, there's a clip of him saying, oh, I know the highest IQ person in this world is actually a man, and they fact checked him, actually it's a woman. And he's like, oh, okay, my bad. At least you agree that you are wrong in the first place, but stop being a fucking degenerate. Anyways, let's go ahead and watch a few clips of him. I pulled up his most controversial clips, and let's react to it.
Only even acknowledge he exists if he's ignored how he feels 99% of the time before that. Because if he was sad most of the time before that, he never would have got to a place where he could attract a woman like you. The man who works in Starbucks, who's sad all the time, you won't reply to him. Neither will any other female. So for women to come along and pretend they give a about the fact that most men are basically invisible. There is not a female on the planet who's invisible today. You can be a 4, overweight, fat, you'll still go to the club and get attention. 99% of the men go to the club and nobody even fucking talks to them. If they try and talk to a girl, they get blanked and ignored and told to. Most men are absolutely and utterly invisible. This is the truth about masculinity, right? It's very easy for women to sit here and complain about the top 2% of men, because I've dealt with this guy, he's arrogant, blah, 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 blah. Most men don't even exist. They send 10,000 DMs and never even get read, let alone replied to. So if you to sit here and say, I'll get a G, a big G, a boss, a millionaire, and let him have a day off, very nice of you. I'm sure you would. Yeah. But if a guy who wanted to have days off all the time, he never would have got important enough in the first place to attract a woman like you. And that is the reality. As a man, it's player versus player. It's ultimately competitive. And as a man, you have to outcompete the other men who are prepared to get up and do it anyway. That's how it works. There's no such thing as saying, I'm sad, I need 2 weeks off. Not as a man if you want to be important.
My first problem with this is acting like you're some top G. What is a top G, dude? This isn't the 80s anymore. It's not really cool to consider yourself a top G when someone like me, I consider myself a beta male in some kind of way, but at least I know statistically that I'm right on most opinions I form. So this is just kind of stupid, but I actually kind of agree with him on this. No fucking way. No, I kind of agree on him on this. Not fully, not as much. I wouldn't say 99% of men. I would say 98% of men. No, I'm joking. But I've talked to my mother about this. She agrees. I think we both... She made a quote or something. She was like, a woman has sometimes worse choices, but at least she has the option to fuck around and pick someone out of the hundreds and thousands of people around her. But a man can become desperate and take anyone. It kind of seems stupid at first, but when I watch videos of women saying, oh, I have to have a man to make this much money, and oh, do this and that, you have to do this, all these fucking requirements. It's like, dude, my requirements are just don't be 600 pounds and at least make some money with me. And at least you're some kind of gamer, then you're a potential partner for me. Like, you know, like my standards are so low. But legitimately, I will say, in my lifetime, I have been affected by women saying shit like that, and I've been personally affected by past relationships and or possible ones because of people like that, expecting some high-value man. You're creating a value upon a man, because if you think a man is only built to provide, then you're actually kind of wrong. Okay, like this isn't primal era anymore. We're not hunting anymore. We're evolving. We're still evolving. You know, like, as time goes on, men are going to get weaker. I'm not going to look it up because statistically I'm probably wrong, but just to think about it, we are not using as much muscle as we used to. You know, men are statistically still in more businesses that we use more muscles in. Yes. You know why? Because women couldn't do that shit for the longest time, and now it's just ingrained in us to do that. It's ingrained in our brains to provide, but if I'm going to ask for a woman to provide, I'm seen as some kind of lazy guy. You know, oh, you're just fucking living off a woman. But if a woman lives off of me, I'm being a responsible man. I think that's bullshit. It goes equal ways. There's no double standard. There's no it goes both fucking ways. It's either we're both fine with either of us providing for each other as if we make a certain X amount of money, or we work together. You know, that's how it works. I kind of agree on him on that. I don't think all women are that, though. I meant plenty of women that aren't like that. I met women who are desperate, down bad to find a guy, don't matter how he is, if he's 600 pounds and he's a fucking WoW player. Like, you know, it goes both ways. I do kind of agree with him, though, on this statement, surprisingly. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt because he does a good marketing strategy. He'll do radical things for you to be like, oh, this is a piece of shit. But he'll say one or two things that you agree with, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's kind of original then.
12 tigers attack me, and I managed to defeat 11 in unarmed combat with my Aikido, and the last tiger gets my neck. That's a fine way for Tate to die.
Next one.
Cheater, you cheated. It's bang out the machete, boom in her face, and grip her up by the neck. Like, shut up, bitch!
That's also stupid. I'm just gonna say that's out of context, and let's just see the next one.
Don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise, and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them. Your house is only haunted if you believe in ghosts. Belief is a powerful thing. If I were to stand in front of you, and I were to tell you that I could punch you as hard as I can in your sternum, and I could fracture it and send a splinter into your heart, would you allow me to try? You wouldn't, because you know I believe I can. I believe I can hurt any man on the planet, and that's why people are afraid of me. And you believe depression is a crippling disease, And that's why you're afraid of it.
See, this is where I start to believe that I don't actually think he's doing real things anymore. I think he's doing a tactic of he's becoming so radicalized that he knows he's the most talked about man on the internet right now. He's more searched than PewDiePie right now. So I think the more crazy he gets, because if you look at older clips of him, he's still obviously a degenerate piece of shit. He owned a business for women to make him money for sex. Or like, you know, adult films, but he still degrades women. So it's like, dude, which one is it? Women gave you the career, yet you're still gonna act like you're the one who's cooler than the women. Bitch, they're the one who worked for you. What are you talking about? Thing about depression, though, it's not over there. If I hear or think there's a ghost over there, I'm gonna fucking check it out. I'm not gonna be a typical white person and be like, honey? No, I'm fucking checking that shit out. I'm screaming. Bitch, like, I don't think you see me in person when I get scared. I start yelling for no reason. Hey! Hey! I know you're there! The fuck? I know you're hiding under here! Like, I start screaming and shit, saying dumb shit. It's like, you wanna kill me? Do it now, pussy! Yeah, bitch! Like, that's how I do it. You know? Ghosts isn't over there. If I believe there's a ghost, I'm gonna go check it out. Thing of depression, I didn't want to check it out. I just fucking got it. Everyone suffers from depression, I think, at this point. I just did the research. It was only for adults, but 1 in 4 adults suffer from depression. That's not including other mental health issues. So, guys, everyone in the world right now, this one top G guy disagrees with 1 out of 4 people. Oh, he's the right guy, right? Oh, yeah, he's very right. It's not like the scars that I cut myself from when I was young, or if you weren't just from no reason, you dumbass. You know? No, I'm just begging for attention, even though I never told anyone that, really. Yeah, I'm totally begging for attention, dude. Depression isn't real. My bad. It isn't? Aw, fuck, bro. You got me. Damn, dab me up, bro. Shit, you got me, bro. My bad. I thought I was sad, but I wasn't, you know? You just broke me out the fucking Matrix. You are wrong. Literally, science debunks you 100%. You can't just sit here and say, I don't believe in depression. That's fine. But the problem with that argument is you already said believe. Because I have facts. You have belief and faith. No one fucking cares.
If I wanted to start an OnlyFans.
I don't think there's anything intrinsically wrong with women doing OnlyFans, as long as I had influence and control over it.
What do you mean? Doing a video photographer and get the angles, yeah?
No. I'm not doing any real work, but just like taking all the money. Huh? If my chick said, I want to do OnlyFans, I'm like, all right, then cool, go do it. How much you made? 10 grand, all right, give me 8. All right, cool.
Why would, what woman is going to give you 8 grand?
You're my woman, you're doing OnlyFans, you're selling my product. What the fuck?
Your product?
Yes,
The
correct.
woman is not
Next
your
question.
possession. No. I don't know if you're being serious.
I'm totally serious. How would I?
This is kind of like the classic iDubbbz moment. And when his girlfriend made an OnlyFans, even though I don't even think she did anything nude, actually. She only just lewd pictures of her, but then nothing actually fully nude and way too sexual. Whole internet flamed him for being a simp. It was kind of funny. I was one of the people, I was like, simp. But really, I was just like, there's nothing wrong with that. If my girlfriend was like, yo, real shit, OnlyFans, we can make some good bread. I'm like, okay, cool. As long as there's no other co-star, bro, like, fuck, why do I care? There's nothing special about that shit. Like iDubbbz said, it's just like a pussy or an ass or like, what the fuck? There's no fireworks coming out of that shit. There's 8 billion people on this earth. There's nothing inherently special about one person's fucking vagina or dick or ass or boobs. It doesn't really matter that much. You know? Like, so this guy asking for a percentage, even though, you know, this is where he starts getting radical. And I think it's fine for a guy to have an opinion if his girlfriend can have an OnlyFans or not, or the girl can have an opinion on a guy having OnlyFans. That doesn't happen much, but it can. That has to be discussed between you two. It's a 50-50 relationship by then. Yeah, that's just an L on him. Every action has an opposite or equal reaction. I think I said it a little wrong, but you know the point. Everything that must come up must come down. You know how all the crazy feminazis or considered feminists on the internet has been crazy for a little while? I actually think Andrew Tate is only popular because of the crazy feminism that has been happening in the last few years. Guys were so tired of seeing all these fucking women degrading men and all this shit. I will agree that men are kind of suppressed on some things, or whatever you want to fucking say. We do have some problems that women cause in society. From women to men, yes. But it also happens from men to men as well. So it's not really women's fault, Andrew. It's really more of the fact of that most people in this world are still kind of corrupt from the past generations, and we have to fucking fix that. Now, every 14-year-old on the internet is tired of the feminism, so now they're watching Andrew Tate thinking it's super masculine to be like this guy. By the way, it's not really cool to be super masculine. I mean, there is a point, I will say, I saw statistics of like 90% of school shooters, or 40% of this, or 40% of that, and 80% of this, of all bad people in society, or people who are worse off in life, were off without a father. Yeah. The one thing I kind of heard recently is, I don't know if I agree or not, men don't suffer from too much masculinity. We suffer from a lack of masculinity. Now, just thinking when people hear masculinity, they hear football, or they hear muscles, or they hear beer and beards and fucking shit. That's not masculinity. That's not. And femininity, however you want to fucking say it, being feminine isn't only just wearing a dress or fucking doing whatever the fuck you want. Just because you're doing something typical as a woman still doesn't mean that makes you a woman. You could be a woman and do everything masculine, but you're still a woman unless you identify as not one. So, that's interesting, isn't it? What does it mean to be masculine then? You see, look at this guy, Andrew Tate, and you're like, oh, he's super fucking masculine, he's super cool, he makes millions of dollars a year and shit, and he's a hypocritical piece of shit, and he's misogynist. I want to be like him. No, you don't want to be like him. I'd rather be a fucking beta male than be like this guy. I joke about considering myself a beta male, but actually in real seriousness, I consider myself better off than this dude. I don't care how much money he fucking makes, how many bitches he fucks a year. If you're being that much of a piece of shit, are you really that good of a guy? Like, seriously, dude. If all you're doing is degrading everyone around you and being a piece of shit and making 14-year-olds always comment, what color is your Bugatti? Then you're not really a good influence on the internet. At least I haven't done anything degenerate like you since I was 15.
One day you're sitting in Paris and having a fucking coffee, and terrorists roll through with AKs, and the person next to you has their brains blown out. You're gonna stand there and be like, waiting to die like a motherfucker. I'm gonna be like, bang, oh, seen that before. Okay, boom, boom, duck and dive in, take one terrorist out, next get the AK, go Rambo, take out all of fucking Pakistan with the Jeep.
This is obviously bullshit. This is obviously the most bullshit statement. Now, here's the thing. I've been put in situations, not like that, but situations where I had to act quickly, and I did act quickly. I'm not just a typical white person in a movie. I did act quickly. Dude, shut the fuck up, though. You're not some top G. You're not gonna kill everyone around you. Everyone is scared of you because you're super masculine. No one really cares about you. You're not that cool, bro. You're not some top G. If you consider yourself a top G like that, you see some guy get blown off a AK, you punch some shit. Like, you sound like a 13-year-old explaining something that they did last week. I built the house out of Legos, and then some ninjas came out, and they fucking grabbed the AK and killed everyone because I'm super cool. And their friends are like, wow, that's so cool, Brandon. Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
Society we live in has been built by men. Let's cut the crap. All the roads you see, all the buildings you see, everything around you, men built. All of it. When women come along and say, oh, we're just as important, you are just as important, but you had a completely different role. You fulfilled a different role in society. And I think now, if you look at the roles of society, I believe men are still doing their job, but I don't know if women are doing their job. Men are still out here building the modern world. But when they come home now, the girl's like, oh, why should I cook for you?
I can't believe we have people in this world that are actually following him unironically and agreeing with statements like that. Oh, hey, all the 14-year-olds on TikTok that comments what color is your Bugatti on every single TikTok, I want you to, like, figure out How the fuck are you going to get a girlfriend if you're going to follow someone like him and make her know that you follow him and follow all his ideals? That is not masculinity. Sitting there degrading women is not masculinity. Defending your own fucking gender is not masculinity. That is not masculinity. That's toxic masculinity. I don't fucking care if you're the biggest, bulkiest dude on earth. You're still not as toxic as this guy, because masculinity is different from toxic masculinity. Like I said, most women didn't build shit around us because they weren't allowed to, you dumbass. And now they are, and when they join those fields, they are made fun of by men. Look it up statistically. Women can't stay in these careers for long periods of time without these guys bullying them or sexually harassing them. Just look at the gaming industry. You know how many sexual assaults happen a year just from CEOs? Imagine just from the employees. Blizzard, what the fuck? It's like a fucking harem in there. Women are pushed back in society because of men, you dumbass. Look at it statistically instead of just looking at it opinion or faith-wise. Because you obviously never opened to Google before, you dumbass. Because everything you say can be debunked almost easily unless it's how some men are kind of oppressed a little bit. But women are still majorly more, but men are a little bit. That's fine. I believe both genders should come in the middle and focus on each other. Instead of women saying, we only need to focus on women's problems, not men's problems. Then I'm not going to fucking care. Like, what? Nah, here's the thing, though. If a woman aren't going to fight for men's rights, I'm still going to fight for women's rights. You know why? Because that's actual masculinity. Chasing for what's better in society. You know? And, women should fucking fight for what's wrong for happening in men today. And it's just kind of ignorant to say that men go through nothing. It's kind of ignorant. Every sex, race, gender, fucking religion, doesn't matter. You go through something that needs to be fixed. Like, seriously. I think last time I heard it, it's going to take like another 100 years before we're actually truly equal. I don't think we're ever going to be equal. We're never going to be equal, and I mean that. How do I know? Because men are fucking stupid. Like this guy. How do you think we're going to be equal in a society like that? Imagine if everyone thought like him. Are women really equal? Well, let's start using the excuse. Well, you are equal, but in a different way. No. It's either you're fully equal or you're fully not. There's not a lot that men can do that women can't. There's not a lot women can do that men can't. You know what I mean? But it's kind of hard to say. Both genders can do pretty much everything the other can, except for give birth or fuck.